Good morning. It's Ayya Vimala. It's Friday morning, September the 11th. And I've been sitting here this morning watching the squirrels and the giant turkey out on a very rainy day here, cool and rainy, which was kind of a surprise to so suddenly go into our cool weather. But I've also been thinking about today. It's the anniversary, September the 11th, the anniversary of almost 20 years ago of the tragedy of the Twin Towers and how that's changed our world in the last 19 years. It's a somber moment to just reflect on that. So I think it's something we should all keep in our thoughts today. Just realizing we go through so many tragedies in this world. We live through them. We may come out the other end with great loss to deal with, or great changes in society to deal with, but we go through them. And they become teachers for us. And that's happening all over the world these days, and we're just closer to it. So not much has changed, right? The little booklet I was telling you about earlier this week called Peace and Kindness, and the beautiful metta meditation is in this book. I just wanted to read probably just the first paragraph in one of the essays. The title grabbed me, and then I think it's really rich. And today's a little bit somber for me with those memories, and it's a little gloomy, a bit of a gloomy day, so it's it tends to lend itself to a little darker thoughts. But it's the essay is called "Making Peace with Despair." I thought that might be a good topic. It's Ajahn Sucitto. Many people have heard of him or read books by him. This question of making peace with despair is a profoundly spiritual question. It's one that cannot be resolved by trying to make the world into a different place, which tends to be the normal approach. To make peace with despair is a matter of understanding not just where difficulties such as sickness and violence arise, but also how the feeling of being bound to and oppressed by those problems occurs, and how constant that feeling is. People can experience despair through thinking when they don't want to think, through having a mind that's restless, uncertain, unsteady, through being in a state of doubt, not quite knowing what to do. Those of you who have practiced meditation to any degree will recognize the feeling of despair or pain that arises through being stuck with something that you don't like, such as a painful memory, even when there isn't anything particularly dreadful happening or anything that one can really say is unfair. So the ways that we can experience conflict or discontent are numerous, and the feeling of being oppressed and bound down by it is essentially a spiritual one. It's a feeling that occurs in the mind or the heart, the soul, if you like. Human beings have a reflective quality that steps back from experience and says, I don't like this. It shouldn't be this way. Stop it. The aim of the spiritual path is to fully understand that the main problem of life is not that the government is unfair, that one isn't getting enough money, that there is hunger, violence, pain, or sickness, not even that one isn't loved, but the feeling in the reflective mind of being bound down by these circumstances. Once we have clearly understood the mind, the mind, we can experience patience, equanimity, and release, even in predicaments that can be difficult or unpleasant. To have come round to this question is a sign of a mind ready to reflect on the problems of human existence and what our despair is. Through not understanding this clearly, the Buddha said, we continually strive and wearily trudge around aims and ambitions, causes, motives, campaigns, wars, and crusades, birth after birth, trying to put an end to it all. But all we are doing in this way is just stirring it up, making it as at least as painful as it was before, and not really getting anywhere. That's enough to read for today, but does it sound familiar? And this little book was written, it was written in 1990, so 30 years ago, before the trade towers were destroyed and so many lives were lost in New York City, before the coronavirus. These are words that grab our hearts, but I think we feel the truth in them. So I think feeling the truth of this is how the world is can be hard to really grapple with, but once we do, we understand things so much better. That the world is the way the world is, and what we have to do is work from within to deal with it in a different way than we've been dealing with it in the past. We have to find our own salvation that's within us. It's how we think, it's how we speak, it's how we act, and then we can change all of that. So this is a lesson that the COVID virus is really teaching us day by day. I keep looking out at the turkey, I'm sorry. There's nothing different out there. It's fascinating. This is one of my antidotes for this crazy world we're in, is to just see the same little animals come every day and enjoy eating the food I put out and training me so I'm more responsive to the times when they want it. So I'm able to be an observer of that process. And I'm saying this in the midst of talking about some heavy-duty, profound issues. And that's what we all have to do these days. So the world is the way it is, and we have to find our joy and our happiness in the folds of this world, right? We have to look deeply, and that's why we practice meditation, because that's one of the ways where we find joy. It's letting our meditation practice help us find those parts of ourselves that we want to express, that we want to be connected to, because everything has to come from within. So let's get deeply within ourselves and find what we're really looking for the peace, for the equanimity, for the balance, for the happiness that really makes a difference in this world. Happiness of just having things, or having a lot of people we love or who love us. That can be wonderful, to have really good friends, but just to be acquiring things or acquiring people, or chasing after a certain amount of fame or a certain amount of anything that's from this world, it's not going to help us find the deep sense of balance that we want and the deep sense of peace. That's all just right here inside of us. We don't have to go anywhere for that. It's kind of like everybody laughing so much the early days of the pandemic that you only had to get dressed from the waist up. If everything we were doing was on Zoom, we didn't need all the stuff we needed before to go out of the house. So this is a day to be reflective, and a day to think about all the experiences we've gone through, good and bad, throughout our lives, and be aware of how we survive them all. We learn from them, and this is why we're here in this world. So why don't we I'd really like to do the beautiful meditation. I do have to read it because it's new for me too. This is the one that I just happened to find in going through books that I've had this one for at least probably 10 or 15 years. So consider this quietly. These are the instructions with this meditation. It's a guided meditation on metta, or loving kindness. Consider this quietly on your own, or get a friend to read it out slowly to you, so I can be that friend, and you can listen to it then when you can find the time to consider it quietly. Stop for a few moments. Sit quietly with a straight back and gently close your eyes, feeling the rhythm of the breath as it enters and leaves the body. Allow yourself to let go of past and future and come into the present moment, being with exactly what is now. Bring your attention to the feeling of the body, accepting it just the way it is, with kindness. Allow yourself to accept all the sensations and feelings of the body completely. Breathe in deeply with a sense of trust and well-being. Breathe out, letting go of tension, allowing any tightness to dissolve. Then focus on the normal breathing, just the feeling of breathing in, breathing out. Imagine yourself surrounded by light, perhaps a golden colored light if you like gold. Being with the sensation of the body breathing in, breathing out. Draw the light into the body as you breathe, maybe through the nostrils, the heart, or the head. Imagine light saturating the body through every pore. Think to yourself, may this being be well, and turn the calming effect of the meditation towards this being. May this being be calm. Suffuse your whole body with this calm and kindly attention. Then let your awareness explore the body, moving around the head and face, gradually down the neck, the back, and the chest, spreading down the fingertips, then down the legs to each toe, drawing on the good energy of the breath, expanding and embracing the heart, focusing more on the out-breath. Let go of the memories, the grudges, the grievances. Just let it all go. Begin again with each breath. Picture yourself in your mind's eye, as you are now. Make peace with this view of yourself through forgiveness, compassion, gentleness. May this being be well. Suffuse this picture with gentle, warm light from the heart. Then let it go. Next, picture your parents. Let them into your mind. Make peace with their image. May you be well, bathing them with soft light, with gratitude. Observe thoughts arising, memories of yourself as a child, perhaps something painful or something you have never made peace with. Let it be in the mind, in the light. Then bring up an image of your daily situation, at home or wherever, with the people it involves, people you like or dislike, feel conflict with, love, fear, or worry for. May these beings be well. Put aside aversion, fear, worry, guilt. At this moment, allow yourself to be kind. Think of someone you know who is having a difficult time. Send these feelings of kindness towards them. Breathe in light, breathe out, wishing them well. Gradually open up more and more from the people you see every day to nobody special, and even those for whom you have hardly a memory. Recognize them as human beings with ambitions, hopes, problems, anxieties, joy, just like you, just like me. Give them some life in your perceptions. And even more remote, acknowledge all the people you can conceive of in this world. This may be a faint feeling, but open up the heart to allow them into consciousness, to be felt. See what the mind does, how it reacts indignantly about some people, such as political figures. Just let go of that indignation for this moment. Allow a sense of peace to envelop all beings, the liked, the disliked, familiar and unfamiliar. And then imagine the planet Earth as seen from space. Extend this sense of peace to the planet we live on, embracing it with your heart, surrounding it with light. Turning your attention to that sense of peace and light, allow it to expand outwards without limit, letting the sense of me and the world dissolve. Dissolve in the stillness of the present. Then turn your attention back in towards itself, upon the feeling of knowing, the screen of the mind, the place where images arise. Let it be quite empty or full, choiceless, being illuminated by the soft light from the heart, light from the breath, warm, gentle, beginning, letting go, patient kindness. Gently come back to the rhythm of the breath, and when you are ready, slowly open your eyes. Now, you don't have to open your eyes. You can stay with your practice. It might be nighttime and you may be falling asleep. That's perfectly okay. Have a beautiful day. Monday evening is the first book group, so you do need to register at the Blue Lotus Temple at the Facebook page or on the website, and you just need to register with Eventbrite that you can find either place. And there's no charge for the book group, but when you register, then you get an invitation with the Zoom numbers. So I hope if you're reading Welcoming the Unwelcome, we just need to do, you don't need to read the whole book by Monday, but try to at least read the first chapter if you can, but come even if you don't have the book and join us. And it'll be a great way to just be with people and share some ideas and be a motivator for us to read a book and get other people's impressions as we go along. It'll just open it wider for all of us. So thank you. I'll see you Sunday morning, or I'll be here Sunday morning, and have a beautiful weekend. And remember, everything is within us. That's all we need, but we really have to work with it in the best way possible. So thank you so much for sharing in my practice. Bye-bye.